can hear the chickens because the coop is right behind us. It's like right over here. And that sound is the sound that chickens make after they lay an egg or while they are laying an egg. It's a big celebration, apparently. They make a lot of racket when they're laying eggs. I don't know if I turn my messages. Oh, yeah, there we go. Chat is on. There's lots of little things you got to figure out when you do this live streaming, of adding comments and, being able to view the comments and that sort of thing. And then they disappear, which is frustrating for me. Hello. Oh, you made it on time. Oh, you poor thing, trying to figure out the time. And now I'm going to change the regular time to somewhere probably in the evening because people are going back to work. I have Mondays off, so it doesn't matter for me, but live streams are not for me. They are for everyone else. So I will be changing the time to later on in the day, and then we'll all have to figure out what time zone everyone's in and what we're doing. But yeah, here we are outside. Spring finally came here, and then the last couple days it's been summer. It's 80 degrees right now, humid. We're supposed to have some thunderstorms today, but I don't know. It looks like they're going to miss us. I was watching the radar hoping that I could be outside, and we'll see. If it starts raining, we might have to run in the house, but I like to sit out here and hear all the sounds, and it's just nice. But we had a very exciting day yesterday. If you saw my post, I was outside and I was trying to get one of my mama hens to go back on the right nest because she's sitting on eggs. And oh, thank you. She's sitting on eggs, and mama chickens, they don't really remember exactly what nest is theirs. They just see eggs and then sit on it. So even if they had sat on the same nest for 2 weeks and it was, a week away from hatching, when they get off the nest, if you don't keep an eye on them, they'll just go sit on any nest with eggs. And since I only collect eggs once a day, there's always some eggs sitting in there. So anyway, I was outside and I was trying to get her back on the right nest. And my husband called me into the house, and I could tell from the sound of his voice that something was wrong. And when I got in there, he, of course, was like, I got a kidney stone. It's his second one. And he was obviously in quite a bit of pain. And then I couldn't find my car keys, and it took me a little bit it seemed like an hour to get ready to go, but it probably was only 10 minutes. But for him, it probably felt like a whole day. And he was kind of mad at me, understandably so. When you're in a lot of pain and you want someone to hurry and they can't find stuff, it's frustrating. So we went to the emergency room and they took him in right away. But because of the current pestilence that we are in, they did not allow me to go back with him. So I sat in the waiting room. And then the waiting room got really full. There were lots of people coming in with different things. Some people coughing, somebody fell off a ladder, somebody had a sore tooth. And the waiting room got really full. And yesterday I didn't really feel like visiting with people, so I sat in my car. So my poor husband was in there, and they were doing tests, and they got his pain under control for the most part. And I just sat in my car in the parking lot for 3 hours until they finished up what they needed to do and got him going. So he's home. Haven't passed the kidney stone yet. It's just taking his medicine and hoping that it goes on its own. The last time he had one, it did not. He had to have that, I think it's called lithotripsy, where they take an ultrasound thing and then, break it apart. So that's what they had to do last time, which, they sedate you for that. and that took care of it. But the poor thing had to go a month with this kidney stone lodged and trying to move and pain, and before they would make the appointment for that procedure. So it's kind of just a waiting game here, and see what we can do for him. People say it's as painful as childbirth, and I believe it. Except you don't get a very good prize at the end. Delivering a kidney stone isn't as exciting as delivering a baby. So that's the unfortunate thing. Hi. Good morning. It's morning for me. Well, late morning. I always come into this thinking I need to have a topic so I don't just babble on at the beginning, but I am unprepared today. Yesterday kind of threw me with what my husband was going through, and I thought, well, maybe I won't live stream today. Namaste. Namaste to you. How are you feeling these days? I actually feel really good. Oh, it's evening here. Yeah, thank you. I feel really good. I feel very peaceful and settled and energetic, and this is a good time of year for me weather-wise. I am very affected by the weather for some reason. If it's dreary and rainy or very cold for too long, then I don't feel good. But this time of year when I can be outside and I can be gardening and baby chicks are hatching and all of those things, I feel really good. And I'm enjoying my life, and I just feel like good things are happening. But I am very affected by the weather, and perhaps I live in the wrong climate because we have a lot of cold, dreary months here. So I probably should live in a different climate where the weather is a little nicer. But it is very beautiful here, so there is that. But other than that, yeah, we bought some more fruit trees this weekend, and that was exciting. We're trying to put like a small orchard in our front yard. The weather is our mood. Yes, the weather is our mood. It is for me. I always think like it can rain every night if it wants to. Just don't rain during the day, or it can rain on the days I'm working, not my days off. And right now it's like it's waiting, and I feel like I know I asked my mom one time, when in your life do you feel like you're not waiting? But this time of year I'm waiting. I put my garden in last weekend, so I'm waiting for things to come up, waiting for chicks to hatch, waiting for for the next thing to do and be concerned with, because when chicks hatch, when they have a mom, it's super easy because the mom takes care of them. I don't have to take care of them. I do have some chicks that hatch out of an incubator that I have to take care of, but that's relatively easy. But the baby chicks with their mamas, that's just really cool to see a mama hen and how she takes care of her babies and how good she is at it, and she doesn't need my help, and how they just take them. We think that baby chicks are so fragile, but they will just take them right off. They will just take them right off the nest, like a day old, 2 days old, and just walk them all over the place. And those babies just, they're like buzz around that mama just like a hummingbird or like bumblebees. And yeah, we think chicks, oh, they have to have, a certain temperature, they have to be dry, they have to have the right food. And those mamas just take them all over the yard and they eat all kinds of stuff. And it's just really cool to watch how, they can take care of their own. And it's one of my favorite things. I always say, like, baby chicks and their mamas are like a drug for me. It's like the best antidepressant I've ever had. Although baby goats are pretty good too. Please let us know your skincare routine. Okay, well, let's think about that for a minute. It kind of changes depending on the time of year. So I make my own face soap. It is a goat's milk based face soap with activated charcoal in it. So I wash my face with that at night. And then currently I'm using like a collagen face cream at night. And then in the morning I wash my face with a salicylic acid face wash because I do get some like acne and stuff around here and then clogged pores. So I use that in the morning, and then I'm using a hyaluronic acid serum and then a moisturizer, and right now it is just a tinted moisturizer with some SPF because I'm very fair, as you can see, and I burn. If you could share the hatching. Oh, yeah, and I will try. It depends on oh, Jeremy, he's still trying to pass that thing. It's going to be a while. It's pretty large. They said that that kidney stone is about the size of a pencil eraser, so I would be surprised if he can pass it on his own. And yeah, it's I'm glad you're camping. That's exciting. I love camping. And then once I use up that hyaluronic acid serum, I switch it with a retinol serum. So as soon as usually I use the hyaluronic acid in the winter months because it's more moisturizing. And then in the summer, I use a retinol serum underneath my moisturizer. And in the winter, I also add in a emu oil because, my skin is very dry. I will try to record the hatching of the chicks. It is super exciting, but it depends on the mamas because all my chickens are pretty docile and they're kind of afraid of me. But it's a whole different story once they hatch chicks. They can sometimes be real nasty, so they'll peck you in the hand, and I've had a few draw blood. I had one last year that the whole time she was sitting on eggs or after her chicks hatch, every time I walk into the coop, she would fly at me. And she was real mad. So I will try to capture some of that baby chicks. Definitely have them record them walking around, but I will try to record some of the hatching because it is super cool. And we'll just see how cooperative my mamas are. The two that are sitting right now are they're pretty mellow, so they're not like raising their hackles up when I go in there. They do make a particular sound that means that they're a broody hen. Broody means that they want to hatch babies. So they do make a particular sound, but they're not trying to peck me or anything. They wouldn't be very happy if I went in there and took their eggs or lifted them up to look, but sometimes I have to do that because about 2 weeks in, I will do what's called candling. I will take the eggs in the dark and I'll shine a flashlight to see, is there a chick developing? Did any of them not develop, or did the chick, because sometimes they'll develop for a week or two and then die, and then I'll remove those bad ones because you don't want those in there. So yeah, maybe I'll do some of that too on here. I want to include more of what my day-to-day life is like, but I don't know how to work that into my current content. So, I don't want this to be like INFJ/farming channel. I don't know how that would, the people that came here for the animal care and the gardening and stuff will be like, what is she talking about on the INFJ videos? So I'm not really sure how to manage that, but I'm thinking about it, probably overthinking about it, but we'll see how it goes. And with me working, that kind of limits my days for videos. So size of a pencil eraser. Yeah, I hope he gets better soon. I hope he does too. That's a big stone to pass. Maybe if you suggest to gather a certain number of likes from us, then you can show it or something, just to see how dedicated our subscribers are. LOL. Oh, thank you. Yeah. You know, there's like a certain number that I feel like, you know, they would, I don't know. I don't ever know what to think about that. And I really have to, you know, this is my channel. I have to put my stuff on there, you know, that I want to do and that I feel led to talk about. But sometimes, and it's probably just because of people's reactions to, you know, what I do out in public. I'm always a little bit hesitant to share too much about what goes on here because it's always like, you know, no one's going to be interested. You know, just because I'm very busy outside, you know, growing food and animals and things, doesn't mean that everybody else will be interested. But we'll try it. We'll see. You know, when I first started, kind of lazy is such a motivation. Yeah, I have a hard time not being busy, and I think sometimes it's to my detriment because I don't give myself time to um, sit and relax too much. But I have, because of therapy and being told that I need to do that, I have kind of built it into my routine of relaxing in the evening and not feeling guilty about it. Because I had this, if I wasn't moving and doing and working all the time, that I was lazy and there was something wrong with me. So it's kind of been a good transition to find some relaxing time and be able to not be constantly doing something and not have to like measure my worth over how much I get done in a day. And that if I do have a list, I don't write out lists anymore because they just made me feel bad at the end of the day if I didn't get them done. So I just have kind of a mental list. But as I'm getting older, my memory's not very good, so then I forget what I was going to do anyway. So my husband suggested that I write it down again. We'll see what I do. Yeah, hopefully I did find, as it happens when you have free range chickens, I did find a few nests in the woods or in the long grass. Yeah, I forget stuff all the time. Like I'll leave water running for hours because I walk away from it and then I'm onto something else. And I think because you're so in your head and thinking so much, you forget about the actual world that's in front of you. So, what do you think about LGBTQ community or people? Oh, you're trying to get me in trouble there. I don't know. Um, I will say one of my best friends is a gay man, and you know, I am a Christian, so I do. You're gonna get me in trouble. You're gonna get me in trouble answering this question, but I'm always trying to be truthful in who I am. So I do know, you know, I do think that, you know, homosexuality is a sin, but I think forgetting things is a sign of intelligence. Um, Homosexuality is a sin, as is lots of other things: greed, gluttony, you know, lying, um, having lustful thoughts, eating too much food. You know, there's lots of sins, and I know that God doesn't have a weighted system for sin, and I know that He loves all people, and we are called to love all people. And this friend of mine, he's like a brother to me, and my brothers are all far away, and I don't have a brother here, and I miss having that. So he's been my friend. Just don't answer it. He's been my friend for a long time. Oh, I can't start the lawnmower. My son's asking me to start the lawnmower. I can't start the lawnmower. I'm live streaming. You're going to just have to wait till I'm done. But anyway, I'm not here to judge other people. So I'm just here. I am just called to love people. And if, oh, my son's gonna pop in. But that's my answer for that question. We all would fail. You're right, Daniel. We all would fail. We all say hi to Eli. He's here today. Terrible short-term memory, and it gets worse over time. Essential for me to make notes, get things off my list. Right. If it's already built into the routine, it's like a struggle to not do it. And you feel like real uneasy. Oh, I think Dad's going to start the lawnmower for you. Oh, poor guy. Yeah, he doesn't have to. But yeah, if it's built into your routine, it's really difficult to not do it. And I ran into that this morning because my Monday routine, I clean my house, and I vacuum my floors and mop and all of that every Monday. I wipe everything down. But my husband had gone back to bed because, well, pain medicine, and I didn't want to do it. So then I feel thrown off all day, and I'm like pacing because I don't know what to do. But trying to develop something new into a routine can be difficult because I'm like set in what I should be doing all the time, and then trying to do something different feels odd. It feels very odd. And then I just forget that I need to do stuff, And even in the confusion of being off work for so long, I didn't know what day it was, so then I didn't know if I should it's so silly. Like, I feel like, should I clean the floors today or not? What day is it? Is it Monday? Is it Tuesday? I clean the floors on Monday, so I can't do it on a different day. It's so weird. But how about look at the floors and decide if they need to be cleaned? And the answer to that would probably be yes, because everybody's in and out of the house, and the dogs have hair everywhere. So I could probably do them every day. But yeah, the memory, and I think I mentioned before that I have issues remembering much of my childhood and teenage years. But there are certain gaps in my memory, even in adult life, that I can't remember large areas, large portions of things that happened and certain days. And then, my poor husband, he'll say, well, we talked about this or this and that happened, and I just don't remember. But yeah, I forget things all the time, especially if I'm working outside, because if I'm working outside, my brain just like goes into overdrive in the, the thinking. And the, just the natural like rolling across of thoughts. So then I forget stuff. So I'll start something over here, and it's usually like, yeah, the hose, like I said. Turn the hose on, turn the sprinkler on, or put something in the house to cook it, and then get busy outside, and then my brain is going, and then, oh my gosh, I've burnt the rice to a black crisp at the bottom, and the hose has been running for 5 hours, and now something's like totally flooded. But I think that's a pretty common thing for a lot of people, but maybe for us, I don't know. Yeah, Daniel, and love life, enjoy life one day at a time, one step at a time. That's a tricky one for me. That I'm always thinking about tomorrow, next week, what's happening next. I have a hard time just focusing on today. That would be, it's almost like my brain is not really settled into today or into the right now. It's always thinking about, ahead. Like I'm 5-10 minutes 2 days ahead in my brain. I have a difficult time staying in today. But yeah. Hello. I think Thinkworth. I think that negative things that happen, especially if they're like what your brain considered trauma. I think they make more of an impact for some reason, and they stick longer. And I always say, like, I'm a master complainer, and I want to be an optimist, but I'm really not. I do think about the negative things a lot and play them over and over and over and think, they kind of, I want to say, like, haunt me, you know. But there's gaps, my childhood, I don't really remember much of anything, good or bad. If I do get, if I do have some recollection of something, it's usually more of a feeling than an actual memory. And yeah, we did uncover some things, some like trauma type, or what my brain classified as trauma type things from childhood. And that is why, for whatever reason, that is why my brain, it's called dissociation, that it did that. Yeah, trying to protect me from whatever that memory was. Even a mini farm is a slice of heaven. I love it. I've said many times, if anyone would have told me, 10, 15 years ago, this was what I'd be doing, I would have told them they were crazy, because I didn't want to get dirty, but, and I wanted everything, I wanted my yard to be pristine and my flower beds to be perfect looking, and they were prior to the chickens, but the chickens like to dig holes, so everything got messed up. But it's so worth it to me. It has given me like another thing to pour my passion into, I guess. When I had young children, that's what I was consumed with, is raising them and taking care of them. So I don't think I couldn't have done it when I had little kids, but now that my children are older, and I know people do it with little kids, but I know with myself, like, one thing would have to be neglected. I would either have to neglect my yard and animals, or my children, and obviously the children win out. We would care for them. I did always have my flowers and my flower beds and things when I had kids, but that was something, you could set them down in the grass or let them play and take care of that. But animals take up a little bit more time, and it just expands slowly. I started out with 4 chickens, and then it just expanded into all of this. So, and hatching your own kind of does that. It's called chicken math. They make their own, and then you decide, oh, I really need to keep these ones because they're real pretty, even though you only intended to have 10 or something. I have 20 hens right now, and ducks, and the goats. I was hoping the goats would be sitting at the thing here, but they're not. I used to get, back to the topic of judging people, I initially, when, because INFJ at the end is judging, and immediately I thought that meant that you were like judging people in the negative sense. And I know, we are told that you will be judged in the manner that you judge. And I never wanted to be a person that judged people. And I did not like that INFJ ended with judging. So then I decided I was going to reject it and not be that. I was going to be something else. And I need to look into what a judging function actually is, because I don't even think I know. I did go pretty deep into like all the cognitive functions at first because it was interesting, but then I just get more into like the relational part of the MBTI rather than the, scientific, intellectual part. So I try not to judge people. I try to be obedient in that we are not to judge people. I try not to judge people in how they live their lives, I'm responsible. I would say, like, worry about your own sin because you won't be asked about mine. That's always kind of the thing. And then I just kind of apply that to other people. Now, obviously, if somebody, there's people that are bad and evil, and obviously you avoid those people, but it is not my job to judge someone else's life and their life choices. So, if I'm called to love them, I'm called to love them, and that's just the way it is. So, whoa, I'm losing the comments again. I'm so sorry, guys. Yeah, my family is worried. Thinkworth, my family is worried a lot of times about that. I'm so they think I'm so worried about everything all the time because I'm always looking for what's going to go wrong. Life is short. I can't believe I'm already 40 and my kids are almost grown up. Limey, do you want to get blocked? Because I can arrange that. Let's be appropriate. We live in the city and the countryside lifestyle and growing your own produce. Yeah, and it's a steep learning curve growing your own produce. It's a pretty cool thing. But it is definitely, it's a lot of work and you have to really like the work. I don't like children. They irritate, break plants and all. Yeah, definitely when my kids are little, I didn't want them in the garden. And the garden has always been kind of my place to escape, you know. Yes, judgment, more a case of discernment. Yep. Not talk about yourself with others. Except for on this channel, all I do is talk about myself and then I'm embarrassed. We all judge. It's okay. One can't stop that. Yeah, I know, but I try. I rescue animals and rehabilitate mostly dogs and cats from all ages. Yeah, I've kind of learned to not, even though I may not agree with somebody's lifestyle choices and the sins they're committing, I've kind of learned, it's probably an age thing, I've kind of learned to keep it to myself. Yeah, I'm 40. See the wrinkles by my eyes? I've kind of learned to keep it to myself. Unless they're asking me for advice, I try not to, give unsolicited advice. Yeah, you're better to listen if you don't agree. Yep, and that is kind of what I do because I don't necessarily want to, I don't want to, like, not anger people, but I don't want them to think, I don't want to give them a bad impression of Christians because unfortunately, there's this bad impression that Christians, hate all people of a certain kind. And although I may not agree with the way that they live, that doesn't mean that I'm going to be rude or hateful or stand in a line with a picket sign because that's no way to reach people, you know, youngsters these days. Yeah. Okay. Do you feel as if you're pretty sure you're INFP? Did you watch other INFPs? Did you watch INFP HD, that Sean? Because he's an INFP, and did that resonate with you? Did that feel more? Yep. Love your neighbors. Yep. Not judge your neighbor, not condemn your neighbor, not tell them that their life is terrible, but love your neighbor. You done mowing the lawn? Here's my boy is back. You're gonna come sit with me?
For a little bit.
For a little bit? He's mowing the lawn for his dad because, obviously passing a kidney stone and mowing the lawn don't go well together.
Was the lawnmower too loud?
No, I don't think so. But, I don't know. Was the lawnmower too loud, guys? Yeah, it's INFP HD. He's the guy that I did that collab video with. So if you go back on my community tab, you'll be able to find. Yes. Yep. He's got a lot of, he's got quite a few videos. He's been at this a little bit longer than me. And he doesn't necessarily talk about like cognitive functions and stuff. He talks about how it relates to in his life. So similar to my channel where I actually just talk about what's going on with my life and how it's affected me, but as an INFP. So his videos are interesting. But that's what I did when I was kind of doubting, I guess, my tested type, or people were questioning my tested type. I started watching videos by the types that I thought maybe I could have been. And all that did for me was like, nope, this is what I am. Oh, you didn't hear the lawnmower. They didn't hear the lawnmower.
All right.
Yeah, he did interrupt. Yeah, it was fun. It was a fun conversation with Sean, though. I enjoyed talking to him, and yeah, he's very, very animated and very, very talkative. Which it's kind of funny because my friend is an INFP as well, and it's the same type of thing because if they are talking to the right person, they have a lot to say, very animated, very opinionated, very lots of information because they're like, deep thinkers as well. But then they spend a lot of time by themselves, similar to us, but not exactly the same. That P at the end, it makes a big difference for whatever reason. So it makes a huge difference, that P instead of a J.
Mom.
But they're easy to get along with for us. Right. Yeah, and I can be silly too, and I think that I think a lot of INFJs have more of like a dry sense of humor, which my husband always reminds me to make sure when you kind of make a joke to crack a smile, because if you have a straight face, they don't know that you're joking around and they might take you seriously. Yes, Eli?
What's the difference between an INFP and an ENFP?
An INFP would be an introverted person that needs time to themselves to recharge, and an ENFP is extroverted, so they get energy from other people.
So that's me.
If you get into conflict as an INFJ, you will stand your ground. An INFP will not. It's INFJ blog.
It's the middle of the day.
Yeah, and I will quietly stand my ground. I may not engage in argument, but I will still maintain what is right for me. Yeah, and I'm kind of over it. You think worth when somebody comes in, it doesn't happen that often anymore, but when somebody comes in and says you're this and that, I'm kind of like, oh, whatever. It's fine. Here's Ragnar. He's gonna crow. I can't see him, but we're gonna definitely.
He's right there.
Oh, he's right behind. He's kind of a screen hog. He likes to make his announcement and tell everyone how good looking he is.
He's like, hey everyone, I'm right here. Make sure you know where I am, because I'm the star of the show.
Yeah, he thinks he's the star of the show. Well, he is the rooster, and the rooster is real important because he's got all these ladies to take care of, 20 ladies to take care of. So
he's looking back to make sure he's not on camera.
And it's a little excessive, the crowing. And he is real good looking, and he knows it. So
every time he crows, he's like, are they looking? Are they
yeah,
looking?
The dry humor, fun. Yeah, I definitely have a silly side, and it comes out sometimes, but I have to be real comfortable. And not everybody thinks it's funny, but my friends, come on, Ragnar, that is enough. My good friend Gwen, her and I, oh my gosh, we will just laugh until we cry. It's just so funny. And when you're trying to be, you're perceived as serious. I know I sometimes can, really, he's gonna still crow. Goodness gracious. He must have heard me talking about him. He's just crowing and crowing. The black and white kids are the stars. Yeah, and I don't know if you can see them behind me. They're not. No, they're all taking a snooze. They're sleeping.
There's too back there.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, my husband, yeah, he needs some prayers for pain relief and for smooth passage of that dang stone because it's a good size and oh, it's hurting him. Oh, now Ragnar's walking past here.
Yeah,
Yeah, the goats are taking a snooze.
I just see Brody and the other one. Then Susanna is nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, they're all napping. It's warm outside, so then they just they ate their breakfast and then they sleep.
Brody and the other boy aren't sleeping or eating.
And my baby boy goats, they are going to be sold. Next Saturday, I'm going to deliver them to their new home.
Next Saturday, I'm not ready for Brody to leave.
Well, it's time for them to go. And then, yeah, so then we'll be down to the two girls, Mama and her baby.
Oh, no, there's Susanna. They're all awake.
But that's how it is. You can't keep them all.
Otherwise, we'll have to get a farmer permit.
So stand your ground. It depends on the situation. A lot of times I don't, I'm getting better about conflict and not running away from it because I used to just run away from it. I would still maintain my convictions inside myself, but I wouldn't like try to shove them down somebody's throat. I would just kind of voice my thing, and then if they didn't agree with me or they wanted to fight, I would just run away. And I don't, when I have like belief and convictions about things, I don't often change my mind. You know, my mind can be changed if I see something from someone else's perspective or they have more wisdom than I do, and you know, then I can change my mind, but I don't always, it's not easy. You know, if I believe something and I believe that I stand for something, yeah, a moral stance, then I just stay with it. You know, it's difficult to change my mind then. And there's been some lessons I've had to learn specifically about loving people because I've always had just a really, he keeps climbing on the...
Interesting now.
I've always had just a really like paranoia kind of fear of people, and you know, we didn't have a lot of people.
There's airsoft BBs all over the place.
Oh, they are asking you a question, Eli. Come here. It says, how is your son? Here, you can sit next to me. It says, how have you enjoyed the quarantine? Do you miss school and friends? And you're more introverted or an ambivert? He's very extroverted. Okay, answer the question. You gotta get your face in here, though.
Well,
don't push me off the edge.
I don't really miss my friends as much from the fact that I play video games with them almost every night or talk to them on Snapchat. I do actually miss school more than, I like regular school more than online school. Because online school, you have so many distractions and so many, like, ways to prevent you from actually finishing your work. And then you end up with a lot of school work, late work.
He hasn't been very dedicated.
Well, I have video games, a phone, I have like everything around me. Then Dad said he's gonna ground me if I don't get my grades up or if I don't get all my stuff done.
Yeah, you got to get all your stuff done because your dad has like put forward the threat. If you guys don't get your work done, you're gonna have nothing to do all summer. But
and it's working.
It's working. Yeah, he hasn't been very dedicated to the online school, and I mean, it's no fault of the school or the teachers, but they didn't really have enough time to put together like a good usable curriculum. You know, my daughter has done online school since 8th grade, and so for her it's easy, but that it's set up so much better, and they didn't really set up this because it was just such a rush thing. They didn't set it up that well.
Yeah,
so
it's just...
What's your favorite sport activity, they want to know. It was just a lightning bug.
Oh.
What's your favorite sport activity?
Cross.
He likes to run cross country.
Even though I'm bad at it, it's a lot better than anything else.
Come over here. I don't know if you guys can even hear him. Yeah, he likes cross country.
Cross.
Our older son runs cross country, so we started this guy in cross this year too, or last year. And he enjoys it, and he needs to start training because that starts in the fall. If we have school, we'll see if they decide to have school or not.
Like, I'm not good at cross.
Come down here. They want to see your pretty face.
I don't have a pretty face.
You do have a pretty face. Now come sit next to your mother. Put your face in the thing. There. There's Mr. Eli. A lot of distractions at home. It can be hard to concentrate at times. Yeah, and he's easily distracted.
ADHD and all that.
Yeah. He's an ENFP, in case anybody wanted to know.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, the difference between an INFP and an ENFP.
Yeah, he's an ENFP. Cross country is cool. Yeah, I enjoy it. I enjoy watching it. It's a sport that takes a lot of dedication and a lot of training if you want to be good at it. But it's also a sport that if you don't want to go like crazy with it, you can still participate and you can still improve your times, and it's just a good like life skill for the rest of their life to learn how to run and how to, condition their bodies. And I enjoy cross. I enjoy watching the they said you're quite a handsome devil. Thank you. He's going to be 13 pretty soon. Oh, you're very beautiful, they said. Now he's getting embarrassed. Yeah, he's going to be 13. He's my baby. He's my youngest one.
I'm not prepared to be a teen.
He's not prepared to be a teen. It's not happened for him yet to be a teenager. I'm not prepared for you to be a teen. I'm just working the other two through it, Your sister, my daughter graduates high school any day now, and she's been 18 since last October, and she is very much a young adult, very mature, very self-motivated.
She does have a lot of her life planned out.
Yes, she has a lot of her life planned out, and she works, and she's very responsible, and she's great. So that one, I'm like, okay, I can take my hands off of her for a little bit and kind of let her flourish and just be like a, wise older guide for her. And then my next one, he's going to be 17 pretty soon, and yeah, he's good. He's pretty easy to manage. He's more introverted, and he's INTP, so pretty direct when he does have something to say, and he's a nice one to have conversations with. You can tell he's a deep thinker. But yeah, he's pretty quiet these days and moody, as teenage boys are.
Probably because he misses school more, because he gets to hang out with all of his friends. I look down when I think.
Okay.
So he still does hang out with all of his friends, but the ones that he doesn't hang out with the most, I think he's starting to miss, and school is his only way of communication.
Yeah, he did tell me that my older son, his name is Garen, he did tell me that he misses school. He wants to go back. He is seeing his friends more now because, of course, our quarantine is lifted here. We have no limitations. We can go do whatever and do, yeah. So I let him go out. So he is spending more time with his friends. But he's having a difficult time with some of the subjects that he's in because he has some advanced classes, and he really misses school and the parts about that, where he can get direct help and stuff. He can email his teachers, but it's not the same as having them right in front of you. I'm happy to see where children are out, and he can use his energy to do a lot there. It's good for them. You have a great son. Thank you. He is a good boy. He doesn't go outside as much as I would like him to, but he does better with other people. He's not that good at playing on his own. He never has been, and that might be personality.
Mom.
I really want my son, that's my middle child, the 17-year-old, I really want him to talk with me on the channel, but he just won't. He's too embarrassed, or, Yes, they are like the mad scientists. He is. I mean, he will take things apart, try to get things to work differently. Like he has, fascinations with different things. He likes to draw. Um, he's fascinated by Japanese culture and food
Anime.
and anime and
It's more anime than Japanese culture.
right.
Japanese culture is just a nice way of saying anime.
Yeah.
He's a weeb.
And he, when I do get him to talk with me, he has some really interesting things to say and perspectives. And he's a very sensitive child. Oh, he's not even a child, he's a young man. But he's going to end up being a very sensitive man. And I'm hoping that he doesn't really have girlfriends ever. He's interested in dating, but I don't think he is too good at talking to girls, or I don't know, but he struggles there. His friends always have girlfriends and he never has one, and the poor thing, we feel sad for him, but it's just socially, I think he would like to have a girlfriend, and he just can't get it figured out. His friends tell me he's got no game, but poor thing. But I would really like to have a conversation with him on the channel for you guys, because it's just, he's the only one that I haven't gotten to come on. And I'd also like to have my daughter back on, because she's, ESFP, they're lots of fun. We should give him time. I would like to see if you could meet your other son as well. Yeah, I've tried to count it all joy. I have tried many times. I've tried, because he's very influenced by food. I've tried to bribe him with certain restaurants or food or something.
Just say I'll bring you to Hula.
And he just won't do it. So I'll keep trying. Oh, we might have a storm blowing in. The wind's kind of picking up.
Mom,
We'll see. We'll stay out here until it starts to rain.
Mom, when I turn 16 and I'm actually allowed to drive, when I have all of my airsoft stuff, I'm probably going to be outside more, but I won't be at home because I'll be 3 hours away.
Oh, I feel that the ENFP wants to grab the mic and sing us all a song.
I am horrible at singing.
You're horrible at singing.
I do not know any songs by heart unless I'm listening to them.
Yes, ESFPs like to party even if there's no party. They will make a party. Now that's my daughter and my husband. So they will make a party. They are going to have a good time, and everyone else is going to have a good time no matter what we're doing. No matter where we are, how terrible things are, how good things are, they are going to have a good time, and they're going to make everyone else have a good time. And it's just, life is really exciting, and it's chasing adventure, and everything is just so fun. And my daughter wants all these plans made and all these things done, and she wants to go where the party is. She's not much of a partier, as in, in Wisconsin, when we say partier, that means drinker. She's not really into that, but she loves the people. She loves to hang out at the salon because there's people there. She works at a golf course, so she was kitchen staff at first, and now she's a bartender. So she, it's just people. And she's so energized by that when she gets home.
Except for when
Well, they said
tired.
if you want to sing a song, you should. No, I told him there's no rush in finding a girlfriend. I've tried to tell him, it's not really, I don't think he's rushed to find a girlfriend. I think he's really interested in having a female companion, as most teenage boys are. But I feel for him, it's best if he doesn't, because he is going to, I can see from him that he is going to just fall head over heels with a girl. And, if it's the wrong kind, not you, your brother.
No, he won't either.
Oh, well, I feel like
That's
he's
a
going to
simp
attach
move.
himself.
That's a simp move.
I feel like he's
You
going to
don't
attach.
simp in the friend group.
I feel like he's going to attach himself very deeply and then get hurt. So if it's not the right kind of girl, and we've kind of steered him away from a few girls that were interested because of that. He can chat about anime. Yeah, he could. I will tell. Yeah, he's waiting for the right girl, David. That's exactly it. He's very picky. I know one of my brothers is like that as well, and just very, very picky.
Bumblebee.
Yeah, protect his heart. Yep. And that's that is kind of my thing too, because he does have a very tender, sensitive heart, and he doesn't need to be chasing girl after girl and getting his heart stomped all over. Simp move. I don't know what a red pill means. I think I've seen some things about it. A red pill ENFP. I don't know what that means. And simp move. These kids say these things. What's a simp move?
You treat a woman like a god and leave your friends behind.
Oh. So, okay.
Because there's a saying, Saturdays are for the boys.
Saturdays are for the boys.
So if you leave the boys to hang out with your girlfriend or a girl that has little to no interest in you and spend a lot of money on said girl, like, it's okay if you spend a lot of money, but you spend it like an abundance amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
You're a simp.
I see. Okay. All right. And yeah. And I know, like, in my dating life in high school, I pretty much would abandon whatever friends, and I think that's what he's talking about here. Whatever friends I had at the time when I started dating someone, I would abandon them and then just cling so tightly to this boy. And I'm looking back on that, and that was definitely the wrong way to go about it, because if you're just dating or courting, as some people call it, you don't need to, like, dedicate your life to this person. That's what marriage is for. And you still have to keep your, individual identity. So
when you get married, it's like you're now invincible to being a simp, because you have now dedicated your life to this woman, and your friends accepted it because they were probably there at the wedding.
probably.
Hopefully there at the wedding. Unless they're accomplices.
Yeah, he needs to socialize with girls who are intellectually compatible. That is probably true. And I'm not sure if the girls that are around, I'm not sure. Because he won't really tell me. I try to ask him, it's putting women on a pedestal as a man. It doesn't work. Right. You don't want to put anybody on a pedestal. They're going to fall off of it. Your son is married, I see.
What?
No. He's 12 years old. He's not married.
That's not even legal.
He's talking about being married, that you need to dedicate your life. So he's got the right idea. When you get married, you dedicate your life to this person,
Oh.
Yeah, and he does have some girls that run with his, crowd of friends. And,
there's Avery.
You work hard to keep him up there, but yeah, you got to be like on an equal playing field. You can't put people on a pedestal because it's too hard.
This whole leg is asleep. Like this whole bottom.
It's too hard to keep that up.
Both of my legs are asleep.
You are so noisy.
Both of my legs are asleep.
Don't have an ENFP in your live stream where you're going to try to talk about deep topics, because they just bring up random stuff like their legs are falling asleep. And they don't... Yeah. Yeah, he'll find a girl someday. I'm not worried about it. I don't think that... married to life. I don't think that I'm not worried about it. I don't think there's anything wrong with him. If he takes his time, whatever. I don't really relish the thought of him going out and getting his heart broken anyway, and I think that's just what would happen. So.
Oh my gosh, there's a hi. Oh, hey, Daddy Long Leg.
Money has always been a rough area in my relationship. I don't like managing the money, but I do manage the money in our marriage, and I have, since the beginning of our marriage. Because I guess I was deemed the more responsible one with money.
Yeah. I fist bumped
Eli,
Daddy Long Leg.
I'm trying to have a serious conversation here, and you're just continually interrupting me.
Aaron.
Go. Yeah, I guess I was deemed the more responsible one with money, so I've always kind of been in charge of it, but I don't enjoy it. I don't like being in charge of it. I always feel like, I'm not an adult or something, and I shouldn't have to do that. Or I shouldn't be left with the responsibility, but I am responsible with money, and I'm real cheap, so I try not to spend it. Well, we are right at 1 hour. Does anyone have any questions for me? And if not, we will wrap this up.
Look, it's a rick. It's a wild rick trying to escape its natural habitat.
Yeah, Rick the goat is staring at me. We didn't have an appearance from Ragnar today,
Well, kind of.
which is too bad.
Kind of.
Yeah, Kieran, I don't know what you're supposed to do with money, but I don't like to spend it.
You're supposed to.
You should be on TLC's cheap state. I have watched that, and I am not as cheap as them. I still like to spend some money, but I just want to hang on to it, I think. Maybe your son wants full attention. Yeah, he's getting, it's hard on him being home all the time with no friends. How do I get a farm? Well, you get a little property and then you just start building it little by little.
We started off with 2.
I love angry women. Oh my, Eric. You love angry women.
I'm gonna get a splinter.
Anger is hard for me to deal with. I am afraid of it. Afraid of my own anger, afraid of other people's anger. It's
like an earthquake.
I think it's fun when he's in the video. Well, right now he's like standing on the rails way up here on the other side of me, shaking it. So if you see the camera shaking, that's him. Yeah, I think it's fun when he's in here too. I just always I'm trying to maintain this professional decorum, and he's
not for professionalism.
and he just. I know it is 1 hour already. I mean, we can keep going. I just don't always. I always feel like I'm blabbing on.
My knees hurt.
And I don't have anything else to do today, really, until later today. But I always feel like I'm just rambling on, and I just don't know how long you should do these things. I've seen some people live stream for 6 hours, and I think, oh my gosh, what did they talk about for 6 hours?
They played video games.
Oh, they play video games. Okay.
The longest streams are usually just people that are playing video games.
Who could play video games for 6 hours? Ugh.
Me. I've done it on multiple occasions, Mom.
Yeah,
I've played
I guess
for
so.
24 hours before.
INFJ Rage. Yeah, I've had a few times in my life where I've gotten really, really angry and yelled and swore and screamed.
One time you swore in the car because you hit a patch of ice and you didn't even know that you swore. It was like, oh mother,
Yeah, I swear in the car when I hit a patch of ice. Yeah, that just happens. But yeah, there's been a few times that I've had outbursts of anger, but I don't like it. And then I usually end up crying, and it makes me really sad for acting that way. And I know that anger is thank you so much. Anger is a natural emotion.
money.
A lie. Thank you, Thinkworth. Anger is a natural emotion, and we have what's called righteous anger and things like that, but it is one that I'm working on, that it is safe to express, and it's difficult for me because I am so afraid of it. And I'm sure that stems from something that I'll figure out eventually. But all the emotions that you feel, or other people's emotions, anger always feels, especially coming off of other people, it always feels like explosion, like the person is going to explode, and it is a very scary. So that whole INFJ Rage thing, oh, I got a mosquito, go away. The whole INFJ Rage thing, I have done it. But I couldn't really do a video on it because unless I was actually shortly after going through that, which doesn't happen very often. I knew the last time it happened that I got really angry with my husband and was yelling at him. He's like, "Oh, you want to fight?" I'm like, "Yes, I do." But I didn't really. Then I started crying and it was all over. But you wish I would live stream every day. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I get moody and cranky. Just ask my family. There's definitely times where I get like just cranky. I'm like, but that I need to get away. I need to get away from people when that happens. That's kind of the way, when I get like that moody and cranky, I just need to get away. Boundary violations. Yep. That's usually what has happened is, yeah, boundary violations, and I probably wasn't very good at expressing that that boundary was violated. So eventually it just builds up and builds up and builds up,
Come on, Chico.
and then I'm mad, you know.
Chico, climb up. Come on.
Oh, Chico. Oh, is he real sad in the house?
Yeah, he was crying.
Oh, you're crying? Oh, Chico. Here he is. He's a sad boy.
When I let him out, he sprinted straight towards over here, but he didn't know that he could simply
Oh,
just run up
Chico. You were so sad because you got stuck in the house. Oh, yeah, make your sad eyes to everybody. Show everybody how pathetic you are. Oh, this poor thing. Chico. Oh, he's going to put his ears up for a second. He usually wants to look as pathetic as possible whenever somebody's seeing him. And he doesn't like to be on camera for some reason. He thinks I'm crazy. He tells me that I'm just talking to myself to my phone, and I should be petting him instead. So, but yeah, he's my buddy. He would go everywhere and sit next to me no matter where I was all the time. And I think, because he's part Chihuahua, that's just kind of how they are. They pick one person and they're kind of clingy. But he likes all the people, but he just doesn't, he just prefers me. And he gets real sad if he's left out. So if I go somewhere without him, he's real sad. And then like when I do this and I don't have him with me, he's real sad. And he just makes himself look real pathetic. You want to see the people? Say hi to the people. He's like, I will not. I will not. Oh, no, you're not going to do it? Okay. Ah, thank you. You're blessing me today. Thank you so much. Now he's going to find a place to sit down here. Now I think the rain is going to roll in. I can see the clouds. We need the rain. It's supposed to rain today and tomorrow. We need the rain. And then I'm thankful for the rain because then I don't have to water. And, my vegetable garden, vegetables just grow so much better with rainwater. Even if you have a really good, well, they just grow so much better with rainwater than they do from the hose and a sprinkler. It's just I don't know. Nature's watering is just so much better than the other. Bat dog. Yeah, he's a sausage. He's a sausage dog. That's what we say. He's a little Chico boy. Oh, we're going to have a chicken jump up here and announce her that she laid an egg. You see her there? She's going to let everyone know that she laid an egg. They're kind of funny. Oh, now Eli's gonna, Immortal Flame is gonna moderate now that he's walked away from being in here. So thank you, Eli, for moderating. There was one you could have kicked out right at the beginning, but he didn't comment again. I'm trying to figure out what is a good time to do these with people being back to work, and I have to look at, again, the time zones, or have my husband look at it because he's better with numbers. But we'll just see, because 11 a.m. is not going to work for too many people once people get back to work. And I know in different time zones it's evening for you guys, so it just depends on what goes on. But I'm going to try to pick out, and possibly a different day too, maybe a day on the weekend in the evening. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know for sure. I mean, this time is working. This time works great for me, but I need to be available to other people as well, because that's what it is about. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up, and I will see you next time. I appreciate you hanging out with me this morning. I enjoy these live streams. I wish I could see your faces. I wish it was like a Zoom meeting where I could see all of your faces, but it is nice to see your comments and yeah, to see that you're watching and that sort of thing. So I really appreciate it. I appreciate all of your support, and it's been a really cool thing, this YouTube, good and bad, but it's been a growing experience for me, and I love it. I appreciate you so much, Thinkworth. Thank you for blessing me today. I'm going to wrap this up, and I will have a video out for you sometime midweek, and then definitely one on Friday, because that's what I'm trying to stick to, a schedule, because that's my routine. I didn't get one out this morning like I normally would have, because the things going on with my husband and stuff. So maybe we'll throw one in this afternoon. I don't know. If not, it'll be midweek and then Friday, of course. So thank you, guys. I appreciate you. I will see you next time. Bye.